Good evening. My name is Bishop Johnny Banks Sr. I'm the Executive Director of A Knock at Midnight. A Knock at Midnight is located at 400 West 76th Street and Suite 206. It has been a while since I've been on this show due to the pandemic, due to other things beyond my control or the control of CAN TV. You know, we just couldn't be here. And it's just great to be here. It's great to just get back again to sharing information and putting communication out that generally help people deal with some of the issues of our times. One of the major things that we're dealing with now is crime and criminology, helping our young people that are getting in trouble to have the resources and the information that can help them work through some of the troubles that they may be having today. It is very difficult to navigate the streets of Chicago now. There's so much that's reported. I know some of it, I believe, is sensationalized, but many of the other things that are happening are very factual, and they're very real. And so as young people, as adults are going into the criminal justice system, going into the lockups, going into the county or the city jails, whatever you may have it, how do we help them get representation? Because everyone, no matter whether you are dealing with criminality or whatever, you really need representation so that you can have the best opportunity to be protected from the things that go on, especially in the city of Chicago. The city of Chicago is the false arrest capital of the world. It's so much goes on. There's so many crimes that's being sentences that's being abated, crimes that really didn't happen, confessions that were not real, and so we have a really tough problem and a tough act to follow, and so things are being put in place to just help out. One of the things I wanted to talk about was A Knock at Midnight is one of the organizations in the city of Chicago. There are a few others as well that are dealing with the Know Your Rights campaign. Due to a community justice grant that has been funded, supported by the City of Chicago Black Caucus and funded by the Department of Family Services for the City of Chicago, we're out in the community giving information, putting information out, spreading information on knowing your rights. If you are arrested, if you encounter the police, what are your rights? Immediately. And one of those things is the First Defense Legal Aid, who we work with, they are dispatching lawyers immediately to police stations around the city, as well as the Cook County Jail, so that if a person is arrested, ask for your phone call, they will dispatch a lawyer, all free of charge, to come and give you some assistance so that you can be represented properly if you get into some kind of trouble or if an altercation occurs that causes you to be arrested. It's amazing that only 1.5% of all African Americans that are arrested in the city of Chicago have representation outside of a public defender. That is amazing. And so poor people are disproportionately unable to get the proper representation they need for crimes committed or crimes they've been accused of. And so when we're dealing with this, it's really getting people to know your rights. Know Your Rights campaign are going on all over the city. You may see, as you're out, you may see signs, and some of those signs, I think I got a copy of one of them. You may see signs out that look like this one. Hope I got that up where you can see it. Yeah, but the Know Your Rights campaign, they are at bus stops. We putting them on properties. We putting them on gates. We pass them out at the red line. Everywhere you may look and may be where we know that people are crowded, we putting them on windshields to get people to use this free service that can really help when it comes to being incarcerated or when it comes to being arrested, and you don't have immediate representation. And a lot of our problems are that many people just do not know their rights. when they are arrested and when the police, you counter a police department, are you being frisked? Are you being patted down? Are you being searched? There's rights that you have. There's things that you can say, especially now in the day of body cameras, that you can have trapped on camera. So you can prove that you refused a search, or you didn't want to be frisked, or you didn't want this to happen, or you didn't want that to happen. But when we don't know our rights, we simply don't say anything. And you can best believe that in many situations, you'll find yourself told to be quiet, don't say anything. But you have the right to speak, just like you have the right to remain silent. And a lot of this stuff is made for TV dramas, but you don't really understand. I think a lot of people don't understand outside of your name, birth date, and contact information, you don't have to say a word about anything when you're arrested. That is your right as the arrestee to refrain from divulging any information about what you've been accused of, any information about what is happening, any information about your personal background. You don't have to give any information outside of your name, your address, and maybe your date of birth. Outside of that, you are done giving information. But many times we find ourselves divulging too much information, giving up too much stuff because we really don't know our rights. And so let's kind of break into this. We only have a whole lot of time. So if you come in contact, there's a number you can call. It is 1-800-LAW-REP-4. 1-800-LAW-REP-4. And you can call that number. That's 1-800-529-7374. 1-800-LAW-REP-4. And you can get the assistance you need absolutely free of charge. Again, my name is Bishop Johnny Banks Sr. I'm the Executive Director of A Knock at Midnight. A Knock at Midnight is located at 400 West 76th Street. We provide a myriad of services in the Inglewood and surrounding communities. Our office is located in the Inglewood community, but we service all of the surrounding areas, and we go citywide as well. We do for any parent who may have been struggling or know someone who's struggling with keeping your children engaged in the educational process by going to school and not being truant. We provide truancy services to schools and to families to help you get your child in a situation where they can get back in school, get back on track, and have some success in the educational system. No matter how we slice it, it's still true that if you're black or brown and you living in America without an education, you face a daunting, insurmountable task looking for success. And so we really need to work on that. So if anybody knows anyone, or if they are having a problem with truancy or attendance-related issues for your children, please call me or Charlene Johnson at 773-488-2960, and we'll make sure that you get the supports and the services that you need to get your children back on track, because we really still stress the importance of education, what it is, why it is, and how it really does it work. And those things you cannot get away from. We also do family services. We are one of the family advocacy centers in the city of Chicago. There are 22 family advocacy centers around the state. A Knock at Midnight happened to be one of them. We've partnered with the Department of Children and Family Services, working with families who have been impacted by their being a part of that system, whether they want it to be or not. Many families struggle with raising their children, dealing with abuse, dealing with neglect, or failure to thrive for their child. Some families are simply have their neighbors or their family call in on them and report that some things are not right within your family or with the children. When that happens, we become the conduit for you to get the services that you need, whether that's parenting classes, whether that's anger management, whether that's domestic violence services. That could be housing supports. That could be treatment, drug treatment, referrals, you name it. And we provide that service to you because people have tough times. Things happen that you really didn't count on. And every now and then, you need the support of a community organization, or you need the support of the community at large that can really help you work through some of the problems that you're having. So our family advocacy centers do that. We primarily serve the South Side and South suburban families. We get our referrals from other organizations that work with families who are now part of the DCFS system. Our focus is on those who have had calls made, but they were unfounded, but you still have to have the services, and we provide those services. We work with families for a period of 1 to 6 months until all the services they need are guided, help them with their cases, go to court with them, write letters of support, you name it, and that's what we do. We case manage you for the entire 6 months to try to get you back on track, get your families back on track, get your children home if they're not home, and foster the care that they need so that your family can continue to thrive. We do out of school time programs. We provide many services at a knock at midnight. So if anybody is listening, and if you have any need of any services, of supports for your family, feel free to call us at 773-488-2960. You can ask for the educational services, or you can ask for family services, and we'll make sure that someone follows up, gives you a call, and continue to help you in getting your family back on track. But I want to stay on the Knowing Your Rights campaign. It is about 3 years old now. Many of you probably have seen people at different festivals, different events, or around the city passing out literature about Know Your Rights. The next time somebody tells you they're with the Know Your Rights campaign, take those flyers, read them, take them home, because there's too many Black and brown people who are not getting the services they need, because this is an absolute free service, and anybody that is involved in the criminal justice system from being arrested, you really do need to know what your rights are, what should you do and what shouldn't you do, what is important to you, because you are the arrestee. There's nobody there. So if you get arrested, you need to have this information, or your family needs this information available so that they can immediately call. So within an hour of you being there, someone, if the phone call is made within 1 hour, somebody will be at that precinct or at the Cook County Jail as representation for you, coming to find out what's going on with your case, what happened, what has been done, and probably will have an opportunity to see you right away to instruct you on what to do or what not to do moving forward. This all is a movement that comes from so much that has happened, and we can talk about all of the people who have been part of the police abuse, from George Floyd to Mike Brown to Laquan McDonald. All of those cases spawned this one of these movements, which we know after learning there's so much that happened that so many people just don't have the representation they need to put forward a proper defense for themselves, and you lose almost soon as you go in. And sure, now people are going in and coming right out, going in and coming right out, but many of them are coming out, with double ankle bracelets on, still back hits on their background, and so you may get out or be free, so to speak, but you're never really out, because it impacts your ability to work, it impacts your ability to raise your family, it impacts your ability to care for your family, because you have these cases pending, or you have these charges on you, or your background has been impinged with a felony of some shape, form, or fashion, and so it's a struggle. But this program, Know Your Rights, the Community Justice Initiative, is something that you probably should think about. You probably should get some more information on it. You can call myself. I'm on the south side at 400 West 76th Street. We put a lot of information into the Chatham community. Alderman Sawyer, who is over the 6th Ward, which is where we do the most of our work, because I think it's 18 organizations that's doing the Know Your Right campaign. We're all over the city. 18 different communities and the surrounding communities as well, putting out information, sharing knowledge about what you can do upon being arrested. Parents need this information. So I hope if you're listening, you would take our number down. That's 773-488-2960. Or even if you have a question or if you want to call in, feel free to call in and let us know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, because it's really, really important for people to get the information they need, especially around when your son or your daughter or your husband or one of your loved ones, some extended family member has been arrested. What do you do? If you can't afford a lawyer, and if you don't have a private lawyer, this is a way. First Defense Legal Aid, which is one of their satellites, is in the Inglewood community. I think at 67th and Green, and they have an office on the west side of 5100 West on Harrison. They right in the community, ready to serve, and they have partnerships with Cabrini Green Legal Aid, Northwestern University, and a few other places where those lawyers come from. They're not public defenders, and I want to stress that. These are not public defenders. These are lawyers who are giving up their time to be a part of this project to keep it from costing the families or costing the people that use it anything. And so I want to just encourage you to take some time to learn about this program. Call us at 773 at the knock at midnight, 773-488-2960. When you are arrested and the police ask you for your name, they ask you for your date of birth, they ask you for an address. Once you give them that information, you have the right to ask a question. And the question is, am I free to go? You need to know that right away. If they haven't told you that you were under arrest, once you give that initial information, you ask them, am I free to go? Make sure that what you are saying, they can understand it. They can get it on their body cam recordings that, am I free to go? If you are not under arrest, you should be able to leave. If you are under arrest, they will probably tell you no, that you can't go. And at that point, you should not say another word. Give the lawyers and your representation a chance to not have to undo some of the things that you might say because you don't know your rights. And this whole thing is about knowing your rights, knowing the things that you should do in times of trouble. Because all of us, myself, anybody who may be viewing, whatever the case may be, we've run into situations where we need to know what we are dealing with. Not that you may be dealing with what you may think is a messed up, violent situation. All police officers are not bad people. Many of them are just there to do their job. But we come in contact sometimes with people who may rough you up or put you in a situation where you don't want to be in. Know your rights. Whatever you do, know your rights. Don't give people information that will put you in a bad light or put you in a bad situation. So the first thing you do, you ask, am I free to go? And if they say, yes, you are free to go, walk away, don't run. Take your time, calm yourself, collect yourself, and walk away. Because if you're not under arrest, you don't want to give them the suspicion that there's something that they miss and they come stop you again. So you want to remove yourself as calmly and as quickly as possible, but you don't want to run. So if you have been filled with fear because of what just happened to you, I will tell you again, calm yourself, collect yourself, and quickly remove yourself from the situation. Otherwise, it may give them what they feel is another opportunity to stop you, and now we got another problem. Many times we'll stop because officers believe that you are engaged in a crime. Any reasonable officer and I say reasonable, would not first assume that you're engaged in a crime. But many of them refuse or think that you are engaged, and they don't need any hard evidence to substantiate their beliefs, or substantiate their thinking, or substantiate their feelings. They just can believe that, and they move forward believing that that you have committed some kind of crime. Don't add to it. Remain calm, collect yourself, ask the right questions. Why are you bothering me? Why did you stop me? What is wrong? They may say whatever reason they stop you, they may not. You offer the simple answers to their question: your name, your rank, your serial number, so to speak, my name, my birthday, my date of birth, and an address, if they ask for an address. After that, you don't have to say another word. You just simply have to ask the question: am I free to go? Many times when you are very cognizant of your rights and you know what you are doing, you don't talk yourself out of anything. People just know that you probably don't have the veneer of a criminal, because you know what you're doing. You know what you're talking about. You know that you have rights. No matter what situation goes on, you have certain rights that people should not violate. And if you've been stopped by the police, they should not just violate your rights because they are the dominant person in that scenario, or they are the dominant person at that moment. That doesn't matter. You still should not be violated, or you should still not be made to be fearful or afraid that something is going to happen that's totally out of your control. Again, my name is Johnny Banks. I'm with the Knock at Midnight. The Knock at Midnight is located at 400 West 76th Street and Suite 206. We're talking about the Know Your Rights campaign, the Community Justice Initiative, where we are trying to disseminate information and give people the what they need to be able to call a lawyer. That's free of charge. 1-800-4-LAW-REP is the number. 1-800-4-LAW-REP. You simply call that number. That number is 1-800-529-7374. First Defense Legal Aid and their team that's a hotline number. It's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 365-day-a-year hotline. They man those phones. They get you the services and the support you need and get you some representation so that you can deal with whatever's happened expeditiously. You can deal with it fairly, and you can get a fair treatment and probably a fair day in court. That's what this is all about. It's everything being done fairly, everything being done decently, everything being done in order. That is the First Defense Legal Aid. They have an office on the south side at 67th and Green, and it's a school building that had closed, where they've taken over that building, and at 5100 West Harrison as well. Or if you can't get any of those places, you can come by Knock at Midnight at 400 West 76th Street. Ask for me, Bishop Johnny Banks. I will be the point person on it. We'll see to it that you get what you need, where your family can come, and we'll make sure that even if you can't call, the family can call, and we'll get you what you need so that you can get the representation that I know that you deserve. It says, in order for the police to search you, they must establish probable cause. Why did they stop? Many times probable cause is something simple as a tail light out on your car. Probable cause could be something as the smell of marijuana. If just say, for instance, I'm gonna use an automobile, an example. They pull your automobile over. The smell of marijuana. It's marijuana. If people smoke it, we have dispensaries, but it's still not legal. Not from that point of view. So still it can get you arrested, but it gives you probable cause to search your vehicle. And there may be other things in that vehicle that you don't want them to know about. So they need probable cause. So make sure that your vehicle is in proper operating conditions. Probable cause. You look like somebody that came over the radio that had committed a crime. So you can just look black. That's probable cause. They saw a black guy with a black coat on doing something on Black Street, and you happen to be walking down Black Street, you black with a black coat on, that gives them probable cause. That is about as insane as anything I've ever heard. But that is what happens. That is what takes place. And even though those things take place, you still have to humble yourself. But if you know your rights and can talk intellectually and intelligently, and that I'm talking about from a very low level, not a PhD level, then you can deal with your problem. It's right in front of you, and continue to develop what you need. You know, you can even be stopped because somebody believes that you're going to commit a crime. Many times you'll be surprised that things that are happening that you don't see it unfolding, but other entities have these things unfold. They're looking at this stuff. And so we have to be very careful when it comes to knowing our rights. I'm going to continue to come on. I'll be on every Tuesday from 7 to 7:30, talking to you all about this. I'll have some guests coming on. I'll get somebody from the First Defense Legal Aid, somebody from the Cabrini Green Law Center to come on and talk about more in depth what we need to do, how these things need to work. But right now, if you know anyone who has a problem, who may need the supports of a free lawyer, the number is 1-800-4-LAW-REP. 1-800-529-7374. We must get to the point that we know our rights. We must get to the point where we know our rights. We have to increase that number. It has to be 20, 30, 40, 50% of arrestees that are part of a situation where you've been arrested to have the resources to call. These numbers are also posted in different police stations. They could not deny the right to have the information posted. Most people would never pay it an attention. But if you see that number, or if you see 1-800-LAW-REP, I want to say this again, 1-800-LAW-REP-4. You may see this in the police station. You may see this at some precinct. You may see this in the lockup. Call that number. That is the number for the free legal services that can help you with your situation immediately. And like I said, right after you make that call, they get the information they need from you. They will dispatch somebody. And you might, and many of times, I know you have to make a decision, do I call my family or do I call representation? Well, if you call the representation, they can let your family know you're there, because they'll ask you for that information as well. And they'll contact your family. So I don't know, and I'll find out if you can make multiple phone calls. I think that is at the discretion of the police department. But we know that you have one coming, and that one better be used properly for somebody to either come get you or for you to get representation so that you can be released as quickly and as seamlessly as possible. We have to know our rights. We have to know our probable cause. We have to know that we can remain silent, or that we can conduct ourselves in a way that does not exacerbate the situation that we are in. This is your right, but your rights are not rights if you don't have knowledge of what your rights truly are. What you need to be doing in a very nerve-wracking, sometimes fear-provoking situation, being arrested and not knowing what is going to happen. Many people are not used to being arrested. They're not used to engaging police officers. I know that it stokes fear and it stokes worry and stress. But if you know your rights and you know that there's free representation for you, and you can call the number 1-800-4-LAW-REP. That's the best way to remember that. 1-800-4-LAW-REP. Let me make sure I'm saying that right. 1-800, no, I'm not saying it right. 1-800-LAW-REP-4. It's 1-800-LAW-REP-4. Remember that. Put that somewhere, and if you see somebody passing out this literature, get that information from them, put it where you can see it, put it where someone knows what it is and what's to use it for, just in case you have an emergency and you need the support or you need representation. Listen, my name is Johnny Banks. It has been a blast being back on the show, seeing you guys, being with you guys again. Reach out to me at the knock at midnight, 773-488-2960. Between now and next week, use your common sense. Thank you. Good night.